Livingstone, siya yung misyonaryo na naipadala sa Africa at nakilala din siya as an advocate against the African slave trade at that time. Na yun nga yung sinabi niya na it was the open sore of the world. So nakita natin yung patotoo nitong si David Livingstone, though he had his flaws, na ginamit siya ng Diyos para ipalaganap ang salita ng Diyos dun sa mga African native. So ngayon, meron tayong muling tatalakayin na isa ulit na misyonaryo at ito ay hindi nalalayo kay David Livingstone dahil ang pangalan niya din ay David. So yan ay si David Brainerd. So yan ang ating pag-aaralan. Saglit lang. Ayan. Sige, so yan ang pag-aaralan natin sa hapon na ito, kung ipagkakaloob ng Diyos na ating matapos to. So si David Brainerd, ito naman ay naging isang misyonaryo na nagpalaganap, nagkalat ng ebanghelyo ng mabuting balita ng salita ng Diyos sa mga Native American. So maikli lang naman din ang kanyang naging mission dahil maikli lang din ang kanyang buhay. So masasabi natin, ito si David Brainerd was a flame for God. At makikita to sa lahat ng kanyang gawain that he was very passionate, that he was usually found in his knees, na nananalangin at humihiling sa Diyos para sa kanyang pagbigay ng karunungan at ng kalakasan. So ito si David Brainerd, a very passionate missionary. And he was very dependent upon God's daily grace and mercy. And so he was always found in his knees, praying to God. At masasabi natin that it would be an appropriate title, a flame for God, na parang sa ating pagsindi ng posporo, alam natin that it would first burn with great vigor. Pero ito ay panandalian lang. Ganon din to si David Brainerd dahil hindi nagtagal ang kanyang buhay. 4 na taon lang siya nagsilbi bilang isang misyonaryo at pagkatapos nito at the age of 29 namatay na siya. So yun ang masasabi natin, a brief overview of the life of David Brainerd. Ngayon, anong tatalakayin natin sa hapon na ito? Unang-una, pag-aralan natin at kilalanin natin sino ba si David Brainerd, ano yung kanyang character at ano yung kanyang naiwan na legacy. So unang-una, pag-aralan natin yung kanyang buhay. At ito'y nagsimula noong 1718. So kung makikita natin at i-compare natin yung mga timeline, nauna si David Brainerd kay William Carey. So ito si David Brainerd, he was born in Haddam, Connecticut. At yung kanyang background is that he has also grown up in a very Christian family. So they were devoted Christian parents. Yan ang naging mga magulang ni David Brainerd. Ngunit sa murang edad at the age of 14, kinuha na ng Diyos ang buhay ng kanyang mga magulang. So he and his 8 siblings had lost both their parents to illnesses and were left as orphans. So ganun ang naging trahedya sa nasa murang edad nito si David Brainerd na they had to fend for themselves dahil nga ay namatay dahil sa karamdaman yung kanyang dalawang magulang. Pero sa kanyang murang edad, makikita natin kung babasahin natin yung kanyang mga journals that he professed that he was legalistic, that he was very careful and serious in following God. Sabi nga niya, I had a very good outside, panlabas, but my heart was exceedingly sinful. Dahil yan din ang naging background nito si David Brainerd. He was very knowledgeable about the Word of God, having been brought up by Christian parents. Makikita natin yung kanyang predisposition towards good moral conduct. At ngayon, ito ang naging problema niya, that he struggled with legalism rather than trusting Christ and His perfect righteousness, ang ninais nitong si David Brainerd is to trust himself. But however, at the age of 19, napahiwatig sa kanya ng Diyos yung mabuting balita ng ebanghelyo na makikita nga natin, yan din ang katuruan ng salita ng Diyos, that it is not in our righteousness that we may be justified, but through Christ and His perfect offering on the cross alone. Pero masipag talaga to si David Brainerd, na although na di pa siya Kristiyano, he usually read his Bible, yung buong Biblia niya, twice every year. At kung aaminin natin, mahirap yon. Kahit na tayo ay maari, we may confess na hindi nga din natin matapos yung Bible sa isang taon. Paano pa to si David Brainerd? 2 beses sa isang taon. But it was all for an outside appearance of righteousness. He was very legalistic. And so he wrestled with God's sovereignty, and even he battled deep depressions. But at the age of 19, nakatanggap siya ng kaligtasan as God enlightens him and opens his heart to the good news of the gospel. So yan ang naging buhay ni David Brainerd. At noong 1740, he enrolled to Yale. So yung Yale, ito ay yung university to him to be prepared to become a minister. So kasi at that time, kailangan license ka na preacher. At isa sa mga paraan for you to be licensed is to enroll and to finish your degree sa isang university. So he enrolled at Yale and he was preparing to become a ministry dahil nga gusto niyang i-dedicate yung kanyang buhay sa pagministeryo bilang isang tagapangaral. So he had already dealt at this time with multiple illnesses, diyan na nagpapakita yung magiging future complications that would ultimately take his life. So sa kanyang murang edad, mga 20 years old, in his 20s, meron nang nakararanasang mga karamdaman ito si David Brainerd. At that time, ang umiiral na malawak na circumstansya in the University of Yale is the time of the Great Awakening. Kung alam po natin yung Christian history o yung church history, itong Great Awakening, it was a religious revival that impact the English colonies in America. Na masasabi ito yung Great Awakening, there was this great propagation of Christianity kung saan marami ang nanampalataya at nakatanggap ng kaligtasan ayon sa biyaya ng Diyos. At isa sa mga leading ministers in the Great Awakening ay si Jonathan Edwards, na kung ating maaalala, nabanggit na din natin siya sa ilang mga pag-aaral natin. One of his famous preaching is sinners in the hands of an angry God. At baari maalala din ng ilang mga youth dito na yung natalakay natin, yung naging mga resolutions nitong si Jonathan Edwards, na pag-aralan din natin to sa Bible study natin. So yun yung konteksto dito. There was this historical religious revival that was brought upon by these ministers kagaya ni Jonathan Edwards na tinawag ng Great Awakening. And so several evangelical pastors, they stirred up the student body's passion and love for Christ when they spoke inside the Yale University. So dahil ito yung mga ministers, mga preachers nangusap sa mga estudyante sa Yale, it also sparked a great religious awakening that the students became more passionate for Christ and the cause of evangelism. Pero dahil yan ang naging impluwensya sa mga estudyante, mayroong nalikhang tension, may nalikhang pagtutunggalian. So this stirred tension between the conservative staff, yung mga faculty, yung mga professors sa Yale University, and the students. Dahil at that time, yung mga estudyante ngayon, they were criticizing the faculty members, the staff in Yale University na bakit wala silang biyaya. Na ito yung makikita natin that was brought upon the Great Awakening, that the students were criticizing the faculty because they lacked the enthusiasm to preach the gospel. And some were said by students to be unconverted. So dahil yan sa Great Awakening, yan ang historical background dito kung saan namumuhay itong si David Brainerd sa loob ng University ng Yale as a student. So merong tension between the faculties and the students. Ang accusation ng mga estudyante sa faculty is that some were teaching not by grace because some were unconverted, habang yung mga estudyante, they were very passionate dahil nga sa nanggaganap na Great Awakening in the English colonies sa Africa. And so para mawala tong tension, ang ginawa ng mga faculty and professors dun sa Yale University ay inimbitahan nila itong si Jonathan Edwards para siya ay mangaral dun sa kanilang universidad to preach to the student bodies. And so, alam natin, ito si Jonathan Edwards, siya naman yung leading minister, siya yung iisa in the Great Awakening. At instead of sundin yung ninanais ng mga faculty, when he stepped into Yale in hopes that his charismatic nature would subside that of the students, but instead, nagkaroon ng pagkabaliktad. Jonathan Edwards moreover steered up the spiritual works in the students. So lalong nag-alab yung passion, yung kahangaran ng mga estudyante na sambahin ng Diyos at paglingkuran siya ayon sa kanyang salita. So yun yung nangyayari, that there was this tension between the faculty members who were being accused by the students of being hypocrites. And so nagkaroon ng batas. There was an established rule within the university that it was made by the college board that if anyone condemned a staff member as hypocrites or unconverted men, the student would be expelled. So yun ang, seka lang. Saglit lang, meron ata tayo naging problema. Ayan. Okay, balik na. Sorry. I-confirm ko lang. Yung screen ko na ba ulit yung nakikita niya?
Opo.
Ayan, sige. So, balik tayo dun sa kay David Brainerd. So ngayon, sabi natin, merong na-establish na rule, batas, na kung ikay magkikriticize dun sa mga faculty members na nagtuturo dun sa Yale, and you accuse them to be hypocrites or unconverted men, they would be expelled. And ngayon, ang nangyari, si David Brainerd, he was overheard by one of the professors that he told one of his colleagues that his tutor had no more grace than a chair. So he, sorry, pwede di po. Sige, teka lang. Ayan siya. Kita na ba?
Wala pa din. Ako ba yung may problema?
Sige, try natin muna iba. Si Marts, kita ba Marts?
Hindi rin.
Hindi rin? Sige, wait lang. Ayusin ko lang ha. Bigyan niyo ako ng ilang minuto. Stop sharing. Ayan na ba?
Okay na. Thank you.
Okay na?
Apo, thank you po.
Yan, sige. So, saan na ba tayo? Ayun, sige. So, yung naging accusation ni David Brainerd nga na hipokrito yung isa sa kanyang mga tutors. And so, na-overhear to ng isang professor. And long story short, na-expel siya. So, he was expelled because he was caught that he accused one of the faculty members, a professor, a tutor of his, to be no more grace than a chair. So kumbaga he accused this tutor to be a hypocrite, walang biyaya kung nangangaral, na parang hindi totoong Kristiyano. At dahil dito, dahil nga may batas, na-expel itong si David Brainerd. So because he was expelled, he could not continue to become a minister dahil nga kailangan ng lisensya kung ikaw ay magiging preacher, mangangaral ng salita ng Diyos. And so, na pinagbawal siya na mangaral. Pero later on, nakilala niya itong si Dickinson. So si Dickinson, siya ang nagbigay ng lisensya dito kay David Brainerd, at importante din to si Dickinson because he was later to be the founder ng Princeton University. So ayan ang nangyari kay David Brainerd. He was sent ngayon by the Commissioner of Scotland for propagating Christian knowledge to become a Christian missionary sa mga Native Americans sa Delaware River. So hindi natupad yung initial na plano nito si David Brainerd na maging minister, but he was sent to become a missionary nitong si Dickinson, na isa ding miyembro nga nung kanyang sending institution. So ngayon, pumunta siya ngayon sa mga mga Native Americans along the Delaware River, at doon siya nangaral. And after 1 year, the mission board decided naman to move him to another tribe along the same river. At sabi ni David Brainerd, yung isa sa mga naging entry niya sa kanyang journal, to an eye of reason, everything respecting the conversion of the heathen is as dark as midnight. Yet, I cannot but hope in God for the accomplishment of something glorious among them. Maganda yung sentimiento at attitude nito si David Brainerd, na pinapakita niya dito yung kadakilaan talaga ng kaligtasan, na sinasabi niya, if we are to put our trust upon ourselves, imposible. It's an impossible task for the heathens to be converted. And yet, makikita natin to si Brainerd that he prays that God would accomplish their salvation, that he would accomplish something glorious among them. At maaring ito ang ating pagbulayan na totoong napakadakila nga ng kaligtasan na natatanggap ng kung sino man ang mananampalataya kay Kristo. And so David Brainerd had this great passion for the lost. Nasabi niya, in his own strength, he is unable. Yun yung sinasabi niya, if we are just to become logical, it's impossible for the heathens to be converted. But we know that God dwells in the impossible, that nothing is impossible in His mercy and in His person, deity, and character. And so, in every conversion, it's a great miracle na sinabi nga sa salita ng Diyos, the heavens rejoice with us when a sinner turns from his sin and comes to Christ. So makita natin dito, itong character ni David Brainerd, that he was also humble, and this humility, this right perspective of his own standing before God always brought him to his knees. Laging nananalangin. He was very fervent in prayer. So after ng iisang taon, he was relocated. Balik tayo sa buhay niya. He was relocated to Crosswicksong, New Jersey, another tribe ng mga Native Americans. At dito, pinagpala ng Diyos ang kanyang ministeryo dahil 130 Indians accepted Christ as their Savior, and later on, within the same year, 77 were baptized. So yan ang naging ministeryo ni David Brainerd, at pagkatapos nito, in 1746, ayan na yung matagal nang humahabol sa kanya ng mga karamdaman. Dahil nga kung naalala natin, nabanggit ko kanina that ito si David Brainerd, he struggled with many illnesses, many physical sickness throughout his life. At dito, noong 1746, he suffered from tuberculosis, and at that time, acquiring tuberculosis was a death sentence dahil wala pang mga remedies sa karamdaman na ito. So in 1746, siya ay muling bumalik sa kanyang tahanan, and after doon, in 1747, siya ay namatay. So just a year later, siya ay pumanaw na at the age of 29. At sabi niya, as long as I see anything to be done for God, life is worth having. But oh, how vain and unworthy it is to live for any lower end. And so for just 4 years, very short, yung naging mission work nitong si David Brainerd dahil sa kanyang karamdaman na dinadala, namatay dahil sa tuberculosis. It was very short, and yet sabi niya, ito ay isang mapagpalang buhay dahil alam niya his life was not in vain because he lived for Christ and he lived to serve Christ and to be sent to the heathens. At makita natin, pinagpala nga ng Diyos itong kanyang ministeryo. So he was only a missionary for 4 years, and after nun, to si Jonathan Edwards, naging matalik niya ding kaibigan. Si Edwards ang ngayon nag-publish ng isang libro that contains a collection of his journal entries. Ang pangalan nito, An Account of the Life of the Late Reverend Mr. David Brainerd, drawing from his extensive diary. So, na-publish yung kanyang diaries pagkatapos niyang mamatay. So, yun yung buhay ni David Brainerd. Ngayon, tingnan lang natin dalawang bagay about his character. Unang-una, David Brainerd was a very prayerful man. And we may look upon the narrative of his life kung saan yung unang beses na pumunta siya sa Delaware River, he encountered warriors. Hindi niya alam that he was already being hunted by these warriors dahil nga at that time the Native Americans were very hostile to the white Americans dahil nga na alam na din nila that these Americans were not very friendly with the natives. And so on his first journey to the Delaware River, kung saan dapat siya'y magmiministeryo sa iisang tribo doon, he did not know that he was already being sought out by some warriors. Merong bounty sa kanya dahil merong tribal leader na nagpadala ng mga mandirigma para patayin itong si David Brainerd for trespassing in their territory. So they were sent out to kill him, pero as he camped in the woods, they found him to be praying. He was in his knees praying, and so na-witness ng mga natives na to that while he was praying, a rattlesnake flicked its tongue close to his face but did not harm him. So nakita ngayon nung Native Americans ito, yung misteryo, bakit hindi siya kinagat nung ahas na ito habang siya ay nananalangin. And from that point on, they considered David Brainerd to be a prophet na nanggaling sa Diyos. So makikita din natin dito God's divine intervention na ginamit niya yung encounter na to para mapanatili yung pagmiministeryo ni David Brainerd, that he was not killed by the hands of these warriors. But through that experience, nakita ng mga warriors that this is no ordinary man, but this is a man that has been sent by God. So yun yung naging daan para ngayon makapasok ito si David Brainerd sa tribo na ng Native Americans at dalhin yung salita ng Diyos. And his journal was filled with entries about his prayers. At usually, he would set a day for himself, fasting and praying in secret. Kung makibabasa natin yung kanyang mga journal entries, that he usually fast and he usually prayed for hours na pinagpapawisan in private. So this was the incredible, masasabi nating testimony ni David Brainerd, his fire and passion for God. And so dahil din siya ay isang taong mapanalangin, makikita din natin yung kanyang humility, that he humbly resigned his soul to God's enabling grace, knowing his own weakness. Yan ang dahilan kung bakit laging nananalangin to si David Brainerd, knowing that he is unworthy. He is ill-equipped for the great task of ministry, to become a missionary as to be sent to the Native Americans. Alam niya yung kabigatan nung tungkulin na ito. So, this weight of responsibility that has weighed down upon his shoulder caused him to come to his knees and pray to God, pleading for sufficient and enabling grace. So yan ang naging character ni David Brainerd na something that we may also imitate sa ating mga buhay. That may it also be said of us that we are humble, and this humility causes us to pray, that it causes us to express our dependence upon God and his enabling grace. So ngayon, ano ang iniwan na legacy nito si David Brainerd? Sabi nga natin, he was a flame for God, and though his mission work was swift and it was short-lived, kagaya nga ng nabanggit natin kanina, parang pagsindi ng posporo na panandalian lamang yung init. At ganun din ang buhay nito si David Brainerd. He only lived until the age of 29. Napakabata dahil namatay siya sa TB, sa tuberculosis. But his life's work was of eternal value. Kasi kung ating patuloy na sisiyasatin ang buhay nito si David Brainerd, makikita natin na ginamit din ng Diyos yung kanyang kwento, yung sinulat na at pinublish ni Jonathan Edwards na kanyang diary, a collection of his journal entries and diaries. Ito yung ginamit din ng Diyos to encourage future missionaries. At isa doon ay si William Carey at saka si Jim Elliot. So makikita natin, though he did not fully witness the produce of his life's work, ginamit ito ng Diyos para lalo ding magdala ng iibang mga misyonaryo sa iba-ibang mission field. It was through these journals that they were also filled with the fire and passion to serve God and to be sent to the heathens in distant lands. So yun ang makikita natin, iniwang legacy ni David Brainerd. Ngayon, ilang practical application lang na maaari din nating pagbulayan sa ating paghihiwalay. Unang-una, makikita natin sa buhay ni David Brainerd, the value of life. Basahin po natin yung Psalm 90 verse 11 to 12. Pwede pabasa ako, Marks, ng Psalm 90 verse 11 to 12.
Psalm 90 verses 11 to 12. Who understands the power of your anger and your fury according to the fear that is due you? So teach us to number our days that we may present to you a heart of wisdom.
Sige, salamat, Marks. Napakagandang panalangin, that to teach us to number our days. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Bilangin natin yung ating mga araw. It is to find the value of life, that we know our time is short. Mas parang you are more concerned and you're more conscious kapag nagbibilang ka. So yun yung sinasabi din dito, teach us to number our days, to find the value in the shortness ng ating buhay. Maikli lang ang ating buhay. Makikita natin yan sa mga paghahambing sa salita ng Diyos. Sabi sa James 4 verse 14, ang buhay ng tao, ang tao ay parang isang vapor na panandalian lang. So Psalm 103 verse 15 to 16, ang buhay daw ay parang damo na panandalian lang, ilang araw lang at natatabas din. And so it is also uncertain. So ano ang magiging comfort natin? Ano yung magiging resolution natin in this moment, in this reality and truth na ang ating buhay ay panandalian lang? Sana we may find value while we are existing and living in this world. Hanapin natin yung mga bagay na totoong magbibigay ng kahulugan sa ating buhay. Hindi yung mga vain pursuits na binabanggit ni Solomon sa Ecclesiastes. At ito yung sinulat ni Moses, yung Psalm 90. It is a heart of wisdom. Moses knew of God's divine wrath. Yan yung context dito ng Psalms 90 verse 11 to 12. His fury because of the rebellious and complaining spirit of the Israelites. So he teaches that we can truly apply our hearts to wisdom when we comprehend the shortness of human life. How do we live according to wisdom? How do we live as wise men? Ito, ang sinasabi ni Moses, bilangin natin yung mga araw natin. We find value in our life today dahil nga ito ay panandalian lang. At ang implication natin dito, maaring familiar tayo sa kasabihan ng YOLO, you only live once. At alam natin, yun din naman may katotohanan yung kasabihan na yan dahil naman isang buhay nga lang din ang binigay sa atin. So kung ating dadagdagan yung kasabihan na to, if we only live once, let us live right. At paano ba tayo mamuhay ng tama? Paano ba tayo mamuhay ayon sa kalooban ng Diyos? Ito ay ang pamumuhay ng isang tagapagsamba at tagapaglingkod ng Diyos. Yan ang totoong layunin ng ating mga buhay dahil tayo ay nilikha ng Diyos. So find value sana doon sa buhay, a life that is lived for Christ. So yun ang ating unang makikitang application mula sa pag-aaral sa buhay ni David Brainerd. Although he lived a short life, masasabi natin it was of great value. Bakit? He lived for Christ and he lived to serve God and men. So, yun ang makikita natin. Some people waste a lifetime digging up for dung or storing up the wrath of God that will be revealed sa kanilang kamatayan. But David Brainerd, although 4 na taon lang siya naglingkod, it was of greater value because his life was not wasted. So ang punto natin, unang-una, sana wag natin sayangin yung ating oras at ang ating mga buhay. Let us find ways to serve God and to do all things for His glory. At pangalawa, makikita natin yung value of prayer. Matthew 6 verse 6, we are given a model of biblical prayer. Ito din yung sinunod ni David Brainerd. Sabi doon, but you, when you pray, go into your inner room, close your door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So sa ating pananalangin, alam natin yung konteksto dito sa Matthew 6 is Christ also condemning yung self-righteousness ng mga Pariseo na pag sila'y nananalangin, gusto nila sila'y nakikita ng mga tao, panlabas lamang. But sinasabi dito sa Matthew 6 verse 6, in our conduct as servants of God, sa ating pananalangin, let us make it secret, that it would be a conversation only between us and God. At yun yung naging buhay nito si David Brainerd. Sa kanyang journal lang malalaman ng mga tao kung gaano nga talaga siya nanalangin in his daily life, how he beseeched God and his enabling grace daily in his knees. So sana, ganun din ang maging character natin sa ating pananalangin, that it is not for show. As David Brainerd wrote, his prayer in his journal, he did not knew that it would one day be read by men, but it remained to be a secret conversation between God and him. At yun nga ang value ng prayer. Through Christ, we have access before the mercy seat of God. Yun yung napag-aralan din natin ng mga nakaraan, that the veil was torn, and it is through Christ's righteousness that we may now come to the Father and also to converse with Him in prayer. So sana we may also avail of this great means of grace ng pananalangin. When we are afraid, when we are faced with anxiety, pagkatakot sa mga bagay, kung merong mga challenges na ating kinakaharap, let us express our trust, our faith in God who is sufficient, omnipotent, self-existing, and who has revealed Himself to be a merciful God who also hears our prayer. So yan lang ang ilang mga application para kay David Brainerd, and also closing invitation sa ating mga kaibigan na maaring hindi pa rin nananatiling estranghero sa grasya ng Diyos na pinapakita kay Kristo. Let us also pray sana for forgiveness. Sabi sa 1 John 1 verse 9, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. We are reminded of the great value of life. Ang buhay natin ay panandalian lang. Hindi ba kayo din na gugulat minsan na parang pag nag-isip-isip tayo na, ay, 22 na pala ako. Kaya sa kwaso nyo, mga teens na pala ako, 19 na pala ako, or 18, 16. Parang ang bilis lang ng buhay. Yun din ang pinapakita sa atin ng salita ng Diyos. Life is short. So sana, habang tayo'y bata pa, kagaya ng sabi ni Solomon sa Ecclesiastes 12, to remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Sana ito yung matagpuan natin, the value of life, that we will not pursue vain things, vain pursuits in this life, that it is empty, it's dung, it's rubbish. Sabi nga ni Pablo, sana itong matagpuan natin kay Kristo, the true value of life, a life lived for Christ. So yan po ang pagtatapos ng ating pag-aaral kay David Brainerd. So maikli lang.